1, 11, 2 for nothing. Ready? 1, 1, 2, 2, 2, 1. My name is Jack Ashton. We're in Olympus High School in Salt Lake City. I'm a part-time teacher, actually. I teach 3 classes. I teach concert orchestra, chamber orchestra, AP Theory and Harmony, and I direct the Music Independent Study program, which for students can receive credit for a guided program by themselves and their teacher, and then they have a performance each term and see if they've met their goals that they set out at the beginning of each term. They have to be written down and signed by the teacher. So, but that class it doesn't meet regularly. So I'm here at 6:40 in the morning until 9 o'clock every day. And then I go from here to the Utah Symphony, where I play in the violin section of the Utah Symphony. I've been teaching, this is my 35th year, and I've been playing since 1962. So that's 46 years in the Utah Symphony.
I'm Claire Sorensen, and I play the violin, and Jack's my private teacher, my orchestra teacher, and he's really good. He's lots of fun, and he's really encouraging, and he knows a lot about the music, so it's really good to work with him.
I started when I was 8 years old in a little farm community outside of Pocatello called Tyhee, and a man came to the door and he asked my dad if he had any children who want to learn music lessons, and my dad was a farmer, a milk dairyman, and he said, yes, I have 2 sons and they want to play this and this, and I was chosen to play violin. So I have a student every morning before school, at their request. And they come from Kaysville and Layton, and sometimes they come from far away, and they want to do it, and they like to play together, and they're willing to get up. It's totally voluntary. In other words, they have to sign up. There's no mandatory regulation for this class, this 6:30 class.
I'm Laura Taylor. I'm a viola and I'm a junior. And when you're a viola, you're kind of a neglected instrument, and Jack's really great because he pays attention to the people who most people don't really think matter, but who really do. So he's a great teacher.
A man married a Finnish woman. She left Finland, came here to the United States. I think they had 5 or 6 sons. He decided that marriage was not for him, so he just pulled out and went back to Europe and left her here with hardly any language skills and all these children to take care of. And she wanted to have her children have a great experience. And one boy wanted to play the violin, and she would show up after symphony concerts and say, Jack, or Mr. Ashton, she was the auditor from it, can you please take this time? Well, I can't, I've got to pull it. Well, I'd love to, I can't. And finally, she said, don't you have any time? I says, well, I only have time at 4 in the morning. She says, what day? And I got up because they were willing to come at 4 in the morning. I choke up about this. Every 3 years, my brother from BYU, Idaho, and I take members of my best chamber orchestra, my high school orchestras, and his orchestras, and we go on a 26-day tour of Europe and play in the beautiful cathedrals in Europe. The first one only had 20 people in it. The last one had 44 people in it, 44 performing musicians and 6 adults. And we worked through a commercial company here called Heritage Music, who's tied with Wensreisen in Holland, and they set up the buses and we pick our venues and they arrange the places, and then to play in these gorgeous cathedrals in Paris, the Cathedral of the Madeleine, it's incredible sound plus It's a great experience. We do that every 3 years. Some of them earn the money. They know 3 years in advance that we're going. So they earn the money. There was a boy on the last tour, a cellist, who worked as a custodian's assistant here at the high school when his peers could see him picking up paper on the school grounds. So he could have that money. And for most young people, that's not something you want to be seen doing. But he did it.
Okay, I'm Angelique Caldwell. I'm also viola, and I'm a junior in high school. And Jack is a really great teacher because he's like your friend. He's not just your teacher, but he's very nice, even out of the classroom. And he's a very smart music person.
Oh, hey, we'll be in Rapid City, South Dakota, and somebody will come up at the concert with the symphony and say, Jack, good to see you. How are you, Rhonda? And what's happening? I got 5 kids, and I'm the head of the musical. I have my own students, and I help in the elementary schools. I mean, it's just incredible how often that happens. I had a girl who swore she would never play violin again after high school. Her mother was making her do it. She married a naval officer. They went to Okinawa. She went to the PX just to see if they had any music. She asked the clerk if they had any music. He told the commanding officer of the base. The commanding officer called her husband in and said, we understand your wife's a musician. We need a music teacher as part of our American high school. Would you like to ask her about it? He says, would you get her the music and make sure that she's up and running? They do a military style. So here we're sending all this music to Okinawa, and she's involved in blessing the lives of those kids. It's incredible. And so those kind of things happen all the time. And some of my, or they'll move into my church area, and I'll see them. We dote on the old memories and the high school days, and so it's great. It's great. That's one of the biggest parts of the bread that keeps coming back. So I kind of do this as what I have rationalized in my own mind in a very altruistic manner as a kind of my payback to the community. This is where I grew up. I went to this high school when the doors opened. And then my main job is the symphony and my students. As a professional musician, I hear works that most music educators would never hear. And I hear them played well, and so I get to take those down to the high school, like that Stravinsky Gavotte. I mean, I don't know if a high school has even heard of that. The music's almost impossible to get. But man, what a great piece, and the kids love it. They love Shostakovich, and those things are usually taught in curriculum in the college education courses. So I have probably, in my opinion, the best of both worlds.